good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods, and we will be reviewing UFC 263. And as always, I have former U of MMA champion, a grappling connoisseur from Peterson Grapplers. He is the one, the only, Voodoo Maximus.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. That was a glorious entry. Thank you. You honor me.
As well, I should, because you've stepped in the cage. I might be a J-Brone. You're the one who's taking the hits and winning the titles, getting the girl, having the babies, making the babies cry, and running the dog up the mountain. Hopefully, he didn't cry. That's what we're doing. And I mean, that
Straight
is a
up.
good kind of mode to be in because UFC 263 is headlined by two title fights, the return of a Diaz brother, a
Yep, yep,
rematch of Vittori and Adesanya.
yep.
God, great googly moogly. This
That's
is
right.
going to
That's right.
be fire. I feel like my pants are exactly that, on fire. I'm not lying though. I'm not lying though.
This is gonna be a glorious fight. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? This is gonna be
absolutely.
a glorious event. I cannot wait to to witness this next one.
No, 100.
Um, I've seen a lot of talk. I've seen a lot of eye to eye. You know, smelling the prey or two alphas smelling each other. I've seen a lot of that, and this one's going to be an interesting one. Even to the Davidson Figueredo and Brandon Moreno fight, I feel the same energy there too. It's real. These people are here and they're very serious about their business. Everyone wants the title. You can feel it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? The flyweights the same way. Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz. It's all focused between the two of them. You know, watching that. What do you call that? That
The
face off, the one that they
yeah,
do.
yeah, the press
Yeah, watching
conference.
that. Yeah, yeah, that press conference too. Yeah, yeah, and then they face them off at the end.
Yeah,
That was pretty impressive. I like the energy. The lower folks are stepping up now. They're filling that gap, and they're making themselves stars. I can feel that energy from these main eventers, including Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. They are shining bright like champions. They might as well have titles. You know what I'm saying? I love the feel of this particular card right here. I don't know. I just feel it. I love it.
no, 100%. And they must have the matchmakers of Mick Maynard and everybody at UFC Apex or the UFC headquarters must have felt the energy that you are feeling now because they got
Mhm.
this card started out with a heavyweight bout. It will
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
Carlos Felipe 10-1 from
Mhm.
Brazil, right?
Mhm.
Against Jake Collier. Now, the last time we
Mhm.
saw Carlos Boy Felipe was a split decision win over Justin Tafa.
Mhm.
Yes, he beat Yoran De Castro because, yes, everybody should beat. Fuck, I should beat Yoran De Castro. Good God. And again, I'm never going to forgive Greg Hardy for many things, but also, you're the reason why Yoran De Castro is in the UFC. So I'm just saying, just throwing a little bit of heat. But
uh,
but then the prototype Jake Collier, again, also coming off of a win, a unanimous decision over Gian
mhm.
Vellante. Gian Vellante
Mhm.
is kind of ascension to heavyweight, former, training partner, constant training partner,
Mhm.
a former
Mhm.
middleweight champion. Was it middleweight or welterweight? One of the weights. But
Something.
Chris Weidman,
Mhm.
right? And him
Middleweight.
stepping
Middleweight.
middleweight, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Gian Vellante was the former training, or still the training partner of one Chris Weidman, and he stepped up and basically got taken apart by one Jake Collier.
Mhm.
So what say you? I mean, two heavyweights that are coming off of wins, but they're still
Mhm.
unanimous decisions. It's or
Mhm.
split decisions. That's not what we
Mhm.
would think of heavyweights, right?
Mhm. 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 These two fellas right here. they are, as far as I'm concerned, they're on the same level to me. They have equal opportunity to win this match. However, things that I noticed is Carlos Felipe, he's got a better record, and he's number 32 in the heavyweight division right now. Whereas Collier is 57. He's 12-5. Collier has more experience, but this kid right now is hot. You know what I mean? He knows how to win. His last fight that he won, he proved to us that he even if he can't get the knockout, he can find a way to win. And the one against Justin Tafa, remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed that fight because Tafa was scheduled to beat him,
Yeah.
but somehow
Absolutely.
he was able to find a win. That was quite impressive to me. Um, when you go back to his record, he lost his first one in the UFC, and he's been winning since. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Ah, this one, I think I'm gonna go with this kid. I'm gonna stay with Felipe. It's a 50-50. We can even flip on it.
As much as I like that, I'm going to agree with you 100%. I think
Mm-hmm,
Carlos has it. I don't know. Not to say, and it's funny because the moniker of one Jake
mm-hmm,
Collier is the prototype, and
mm-hmm,
he may be, but I don't think he's there in terms of the evolution, the programming, if you will, right?
mm-hmm,
To basically thwart the efforts of Juan Carlos Felipe at this stage in the game.
mm-hmm,
Now, if they
mm-hmm,
ran this back, again, top of the card is a rematch,
mm-hmm,
right? And for a
mm-hmm,
title, who's to say that we run this back and one of these two guys are the UFC heavyweight champion in about 3 years' time, right? That could
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
absolutely
Yeah,
happen. But as we
yeah.
stand here, like June 12th, 2021, I just think Felipe has more tools in his shed, to
Mm-hmm,
kind of thwart the efforts. Literally, throw water on the prototype and
mm-hmm,
watch it frazzle.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So I agree with you on that one. So we're just gonna leave that one alone and move on.
Absolutely. So we've got the Frenchman Faraz Zayam, the Smile Killer. I guess that's a
Mm-hmm.
my. I'm hoping that's a rough translation from France.
He's
Or
from France, so
yeah,
their translation to English does not sound as cool
uh,
when you translate it. I'm
yeah,
sure in French it's like je veux, je veux,
yeah, absolutely. Escargot and Parlez-vous Francais, and don't say Pepe Le Pew because he's apparently not a good skunk anymore. But you know, he's coming off. The Smile Killer is coming off of a unanimous decision win over Jamie Malarkey, which I
right.
just love that name because Malarkey. Don't call Jamie Malarkey, but you absolutely can. But on the opposite end of the octagon is the Italian stallion Luigi
Mm-hmm,
Verderamini, who's
mm-hmm,
9-1. He is actually, I mean, he's been in the UFC quite a bit. He's coming off of a TKO over
mm-hmm.
Justin Arai at UFC
Okay.
Fight Night back in September of
All right.
2020. Yeah. So we've got unanimous decision versus essentially a TKO. So
Mm-hmm.
this going down in the 155-pound division. What say you, Voodoo?
Hmm. This here also is another 50-50 for me. They have similar
Attributes?
record and attributes. Well, one is 11-3, one is 9-1. When you factor out France, I mean, even though France is uh, getting better at the ground game, you almost want to say the Brazilian will have a better ground game just because the art comes from his region, right? This competition thing, Vale Tudo and all that. They've been doing this thing, right? So I'll give the ground advantage to Luigi just based on that. But I mean, they are 77 and 78. Just a quick switch, move one up, move one down. Nothing nothing huge here. So I see 50-50 here, and I'll flip you for.
So I'm gonna go with the Italian,
Okay.
because that's
Okay.
it's just a finish, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the state of affairs of France, as we saw
Mhm.
with God, why am I blanking on his name again? The Czech Congo, right?
Right. 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 Right.
Where when Czech was, I mean, and this is only a few short years ago,
Mhm.
you could do savate, you could do judo, you could do jujitsu and compete
Yes.
as
Yes.
such. You can do kickboxing, but you couldn't do all
Mhm.
around MMA. Was it legal? So only in the
Mhm.
last year, maybe 2 years, has it been
Mhm.
legal. Actually, during the
Mhm.
pandemic, they kind of did the green light for MMA in France. So
In France.
I think the
Mhm.
level of competition will rise, just like
Mhm.
you know the early days of the UFC, but I just think the Italian stallion coming off
Mhm.
of a literally a finish versus a, even if it was a unanimous decision, but a
Mhm.
finish versus a decision, I to me that favors a little bit more.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. But I feel you on that though. So we will split this, and then you say you have Luigi, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll take the ZM. Faraz ZM. I'll take that guy.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, let's take it to the let's take it to the third fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So Steven Peterson, 18-9.
Mhm.
This Ocho Peterson. I don't know where the Ocho comes from, but he is coming off of a long sabbatical. The last time that we saw him in the octagon, he
Mhm.
basically hit a spinning back fist in the second round. And finishing Martin Bravo at UFC on
Mhm.
ESPN
Yes.
17,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
be, but before those, he was on a two fight skid against Violent Bob Ross. Actually, not
Mhm.
really that violent, really.
Mhm.
Luis Pena and Alex
Mhm.
Casares.
Mhm.
To me, I think is even more of a violent Bob Ross than Luis Pena, but
Yeah.
that's another story for another day. Now he is going up against what I think is baby Ben Askren, one Chase Hooper, 10-1.
Yes.
Chase the Dream Hooper is coming off of a heel hook victory over Peter Barrett. Uh,
Mhm.
that just happened in December, the last card of the year, December
Mhm.
12th, 2020.
Mhm.
He basically, and funny enough, it was on the undercard of Brandon Moreno and Davidson Figueiredo. Well,
Mhm.
wouldn't you
Mhm.
know who won the pony? My goodness, right?
Mhm.
Um, I want to hear what you got to say because, like, I kind of feel like I know where I'm going, but let's see what you got.
Okay. So Steven Peterson, Ocho. I remember this guy now. In his last win, the other fella threw a spinning back fist, missed, and then he threw one immediately
Mm-hmm.
and landed. And that was quite the highlight, you know. So he understands distance and timing to execute something like that the way he did. That tells me he understands distance and timing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I'm sure his striking is pretty good. To understand distance and timing, striking has to be pretty good. But Chase Hooper here, he's a dynamo. He's a savant. How do you call those? He's a prodigy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
it's
prodigy
Savant
in regards
Prodigy.
to
Yeah, both of
yeah,
them.
jujitsu, whatever, grappling. He's deadly. If you get to the ground, he wins. But I'm not sure if this fella, Steven Peterson, is able to keep this Chase Hooper off of him. I'm not sure at all. I'm not. I don't think he's going to be able to, just because of that length and his skill as a grappler. It's it's a very very high level for a fella like Steven Peterson, in my opinion. So will he be able to keep the kid off of him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm
I'm
putting my money on the kid.
No, this one I'm gonna agree with you 100%, 1,000% even.
Hmm.
I think Chase Hooper, kind of came into like the MMA infamy just beyond because he's been a champion in his local regional scene. But I
Hmm.
mean, him interviewing Jorge Masvidal and going like, "Why'd you fuck
Hmm.
up my dad?" and whatever. It's like, oh man, like that's how we remember Chase Super, really. You know, and yes, he's shaved off the locks, the Askren like
Hmm.
locks, but
Hmm.
he's become a quite formidable prospect. I think.
Yep.
I think there's a
Yep.
lot of money in Chase Hooper. I would love
Hmm.
to see him. He's ranked in the top 100. In terms of the
Hmm.
world,
Hmm.
but I
Hmm.
would like to see him. In the top 25, the top 15.
Hmm.
And his fight IQ raising with it. But
Hmm.
even still, as he's progressing in his fight IQ, I still think
Yeah.
he's got a little bit more of an acumen than Steven Peterson was. So I
Hmm.
too am going with Chase Hooper.
Yes. Yes. And the last time I saw Chase Hooper, I remember he had very decent boxing. You can
Mm-hmm.
tell he had been working on his boxing. The fight before that, he took so many shots. Even though he ended up, wait, did he win or lose that one? Let me see. Yes, he lost to Alex. He took a
Right.
lot of shots in that one. Even the fight before that with Daniel, he took a lot of shots in that one too. But he ended up getting the takedown and doing what he had to do. But I have seen him take too many shots for such a young person.
Yeah.
Um, that worries me a little bit. But if his striking continues to improve and he continues to work on bringing that balance in his skill set, he's going to be a very, very difficult person to work to fight against because he's got the perfect body type. You know, that lean, long. His grappling is going to be awesome. He'll be able to put you in a body lock. You know what I'm saying? If he has your back, easy because he's got the length, the dexterity. You know, he's not like super thick, but he makes the weight perfectly. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so he's got the perfect frame for MMA, right? As
Yeah.
if you look at the human, that length is perfect for his weight class. I mean, look at Max Holloway. These guys are more successful because of that length. Look at John Jones. You see, he's very
Mm-hmm.
lean and long, right? All these are advantages that must be considered, right? So this is another reason I'm picking this kid again over Steven Peterson. But actually, we're unanimous on that one, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You said look at John
Fantastic.
Jones. So
Yeah, right.
look at
The
John
length,
Jones.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's long. He's long. Compared to Joe
uh,
Rogan, he's long.
hey, that guy has a 7 foot wingspan or
Yes, he
something
does.
ridiculous like that. Can you
Yes, he
believe that?
does. I
7
absolutely
foot.
believe it. Yeah, Sammy Schlitt type ish. No, 100%, 100%. So yeah, we're kind of unanimous in our decree that we believe
That's right.
that Chase Hooper will bring in the victory. I don't know how it's going to happen. He can finish him, like you said. The
Hmm.
striking is improving, but we know he has heel hooks and all types of crazy submission in his
Yep.
arsenal.
Yep.
So that could
Yep.
happen too. It could be unanimous decision, split decision, regardless of how you spin the gamut. It's going to Chase Hooper. He will go home with the win.
That's what's up. I'm done with
Abs-
that.
yeah. So this one is an interesting one because we have
Mhm.
Matt Steamroller Frivola, right? Eight
Yeah.
two and one, right,
Uh huh.
against Terrence McKinney. Now Frivola, even though he's steamroller, that's what his
True. True.
deal is, but
Mhm.
he hasn't really steamrolled too much of anyone. You know, the last, I mean, the last finish that happened in any of his fights were actually a loss on his kind of accord to Polo
Mhm.
Reyes, where he got knocked out in the very first
Mhm.
round, right? But then,
Mhm.
he does a draw, a majority draw with Lando Venata, then
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
unanimous, right? Unanimous decision
Mhm.
over Jalen Turner, but it's a decision, right? And a split
Mhm.
decision
Mhm.
over Vibrant Bob Ross, Luis Pena.
Mhm.
Oh
Mhm.
God, right?
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
and then a loss, a unanimous decision loss to Arman Sarukian.
Hmm.
And here he is against Terrence Kenny. Now, why I think
Hmm.
this is interesting is Terrence McKinney just headlined the last LFA 109 in Shawnee,
Yep.
Oklahoma, against
Yep. Yep.
friend of the According to Woods channel, Michael
Hmm.
Irizarry Ortiz, and he basically knocked him out the very first
Yep.
round, right? So,
Yep. Yep.
uh,
Yep.
literally
Now.
no rest for the weekend, no rest for the
Yep.
wicked, because he headlined a card and he is making his UFC debut the
Yep.
following
Yep.
Saturday.
Yep. Yep. Hey. 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 Will that weight cut bother him? We must
Mm-mm.
consider this because back to back weight cut like that can be tough. Will that affect his performance? These are questions that must be considered. If you are a betting person, if you're watching and you are a betting person, these are things you want to consider. Would the weight cut, the second weight cut in 1 week, affect him? You know what I'm saying? So, but it is an opportunity that he cannot pass by, right? So advantage goes to Matt Frovola because Matt Frovola is already here. He's established. You know what I mean? He's only making one weight cut, whereas this fella is making two weight cuts in 1 week. That is significant. Frovola also has more UFC experience and time, right? He did lose to Armin
Right?
Charukian, but Charukian was a monster, you know.
Yes,
So
100%.
he's beaten some people that we know that is you know uh, we someone we can vouch for being tough or whatever you may call it or efficient. So that's significant there. We have to consider that too. But his opponent Terrence McKinney, that dude is a devastator,
Yeah,
devastator. You know what I mean? He's got head kick knockouts, punch knockouts, and he's got rear naked choke. So he understands grappling. So it seems to me, if Mr. Frovola tries to take it to the ground, he'll be ready. He'll be ready on the ground. You know what I mean? But from his other ways of winning, I see that he does not mind uh, taking you out with his hands and feet as well. Towards the end of his career, well, towards the current state of his career, I should say, uh, he's using more strikes to devastate. In the beginning, he used his jujitsu and all that good stuff, but now he's using his striking. He's more confident. That's what that means. So he might want to show out and give a good performance against Matt Frovola, while Matt Frovola will try to take him to the ground. This is what I see for this particular fight. But I'm gonna go on the limb and even though Frovola has most of the advantage, I think this kid, for him to cut weight like that, I wanna support him for
mm-hmm.
for giving the effort. Even though all these factors will be against him in this fight, he still went out and did it because he's following his dream. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to make the ultimate sacrifice. So we can look at it as maybe he's giving up 40% cardio and fighting at 60% against someone who's at 100, but he's got the equalizer, the kid. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So we'll see how he manages that 60 when his opponent comes for him. But I'm still gonna go for the kid McKinney.
Yeah, I'm there too. I
Hmm.
think regardless of what he might be sacrificing in terms of cardio or
Hmm.
longevity, I think
Hmm.
this is a good coming out party for Terrence McKinney.
Hmm.
The fact that Matt Frivola is durable, right? But in terms of what the filthy casual MMA fans remember Matt Frivola, it's not much,
Hmm.
and I think
Hmm.
you know it, I almost envision like Frivola going for a takedown, thinking that he could take down McKinney and then eating a shot, and that might be the
Ooh.
one that rocks him. And then hell, Terrence McKinney might have a Hail Mary submission off of
Hmm.
a spaghetti leg Matt Frivola. So I
Right.
too
Right.
say Terrence McKinney.
Hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely. I look forward to that particular match actually. But so far though, I'm telling you, I haven't felt the energy of fight of the night yet. But
Ah,
it's gonna be some good competition.
yeah,
It's
no,
gonna be some good competition.
hundred
So
percent. I
far,
mean,
what we've seen will be impressive, but not fight of the night caliber. I don't feel
caliber.
that yet. We might
No,
see a knockout of the night,
right.
but not a fight of the night. I haven't
No,
seen that yet.
no, and I mean, we got a 14 fight, early prelims, and main
That's right.
card. We've got a
That's
14
right.
fight, fight card here. So,
Mhm.
don't worry, Mama, we'll get to that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, we've got Panikin Azad, 14-5, going up
Mhm.
against Alexis Davis.
Mhm.
Banzai Panikin Azad is coming off of like literally three straight wins. She lost to
Mhm.
Julia Avila in
Mhm.
July of 2019, but
Mhm.
rebounded with this three straight unanimous decision victories. First over Jessica
Mhm.
Rose Clark, Betch Kohea,
Mhm.
and Sajara Eubanks, right? And
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
the other side of the docket, we have Alexis Davis, 20-10, the alligator, Alexis
Mhm.
Davis, right? Um, she was not doing great with losses, three fight skid, losing to Caitlin Chakugian, Jennifer
Mhm.
Maya, and Vivian
Mhm.
Arohu, and
Mhm.
then rebounds with a unanimous decision win over Sabina Mazo. And I
Mhm.
think that was one that I know for a fact I actually picked Alexis Davis to lose against Sabina. Um,
Mhm.
but she etches out a unanimous decision win. So this is a fight of tenured veterans because weren't they both on the Ultimate
I
Fighter? I want to say, right, like that.
believe so.
Yeah. So
I believe so.
this is their Invicta. Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. So Alexis
Uh,
Davis wasn't on
Pan,
Ultimate Fighter. Oh wait,
Pani was.
yeah, Penne. It was absolutely,
Yeah.
but that's where it did. Alexis Davis basically fought Sarah McMahon on the Tough 24 finale, so that's why
Right.
the Tough kind of tagline is
Mhm.
reminiscent in my brain. But this one
Mhm.
is an evenly matched, contest of literally between the both of them. Let's see, what,
Yeah.
40 fights between the both of them? Good
Yeah.
God.
Fight experience goes to Davis, of course. She's seen everything that. I mean, she fought Ronda back in the days. I
Yes,
mean,
you
she's
did.
faced some quality opponents. Sarah Kaufman. This new girl, Bonsai, she's hot right now. She's hot, and they want to push her.
Yeah.
They feel she's got the skill set to beat Alexi Davis. I definitely see that. They want to springboard off of Davis's name to launch this girl. She's got a certain look to her too. You know what I mean? That could be possibly marketable. So I see the reason for this particular matchup. 11 versus 33. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all good. It's all good. Alexi Davis has an opportunity to spoil the plans. She will always have that opportunity. However, I'm going with the youngster Pani Kianzat to snatch another unanimous victory.
Yep. This one I'm gonna agree with you as well because
Mhm.
I not to say that Alexis Davis is a lamb to the slaughter, but
Mhm.
if you were to paint that picture, you could totally make an argument here.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think it's gonna be a good fight.
Mhm.
Like you said, I don't think but I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be fight of the night, contender.
No,
But it will be
no, I don't think so.
it would be a good scrap between two tenured veterans. But I think Banzai will essentially come away with the victory, her hand raised at the end of the contest.
Most definitely, I see the same thing.
Yeah. So in terms of the next fight on the card, we have, oh man, we have Hakeem Dawudu against
Mhm.
Mobzar Evoliv. And
Hmm.
this one I actually think might be the first kind of
Yes,
incarnation of a fight of the night contender because
yes.
go for it.
This this is your first fight of the night right now,
Yes.
because we know about Hakeem.
Yes, we
I
do.
picked against him the first time, and he came back and in that fight he starched. It wasn't even a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Next fight I seen him after that, starching people left and right. The dude is no joke. His grappling is decent. His submission game is decent. He's decent, decent. He lost one by guillotine. That I'm sure in the first round,
Yeah.
UFC fight night. That I'm sure that was like a first time in the UFC jitters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I. But after that, he's been cleaning them up. Austin, Kyle, Yoshinori, Julio, Zabari. He just mowing down suckers left and right. But
Yeah.
Mafsar Evliov is a special type fighter. You know what I mean? This one right here, oh, what a matchup! It didn't even cross my mind to put these two fighters together. You know what I'm saying? Those matchmakers, you knocked this one out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
This was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hakeem is as durable as they come, but on this show, we don't pick against perfection. When the score is perfect or the record is perfect, you got to go with the perfection, man. It's like
Yeah.
picking against the champion. You know what I mean? So, just on principles alone, I'm picking the Russian,
Mobster.
Evliov,
Yeah.
Ivliov, Movsar Ivliov. I'm picking him to win this one. He's got the type of grappling that will
Mm-hmm.
ground Hakeem. Even though
Yes.
Hakeem is good, Hakeem is very good. Hakeem could go out there and starch this dude,
Yeah.
or this dude do him the same way. These guys are equal in striking, but I think the grappling edge will go to the Russian. We've seen that Russian come out of some tight
Tight.
spaces,
Yes.
tight spaces, man.
Yes.
It's crazy, man. It's
Like a damn
unbelievable.
4x4 pickup truck trying to get into a damn, mini compact car space. That type of fucking shit. Like coming out of like a trying to take a Hummer out of a fucking parking space that was designed for a Cooper Mini. Like
Exactly.
that's how slick Mobzar can be when he wants
Yeah.
to be. So I think that
Right.
is going to be the deciding factor. And there's again
Yeah.
a shit. Hakeem is going to get some shots in for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
But I just see some spinning shit and whatever, and
Mhm. Mhm.
Mobzar just fucking taking his silly ass down, and
He's shooting right away.
just yeah, that's it. And like I said, it might not be pretty. I
Yeah.
I actually think I almost envision like cuts on the eye for both of them. It might be a bloody affair, but Mobzar is
Mhm.
going to come through the blood
Mhm.
and clear his way into victory.
Yeah. And this particular one also has the potential for that immediate KO, and then you
Yeah,
don't see a fight at all.
absolutely.
These guys are that high level.
Hmm.
They are that high level. I mean, 18 and 19 on the featherweight. The
Yeah.
featherweights are a deep division. I mean,
Yes.
everywhere you turn, there's a killer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The first 30 are dangerous human beings. The first 30, from 1 to 30, all dangerous. It just so happens that everyone can get the clout or the recognition. You know what I mean? But they're all very, very good and dangerous. Any one of them is capable of being a champion. This is how deep this featherweight division is. So,
Yeah. And it's not just the featherweight division in the UFC. We're talking featherweight all across the board.
yes,
Featherweights in one championship. Crazy.
yes,
As they saw in
yes,
PFL tonight. Damn. Crazy.
yes.
The mother truckers that have been on the Ultimate Fighter. Crazy. Combate's got some featherweights that'll blow your mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Everywhere. right, in
Yep.
the MMA landscape. The
Mhm.
featherweight to be a 145er in 2021, it's tough as hell.
Hey, thanks to the WEC, man, for opening
Yeah,
up that door, man, for these weight classes. You know, for the look, for the. I mean, the UFC used to be from like what 170, right? 170 and
yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or was it 155?
Oh, 155 because Hughes and GSP. Yeah, so
No,
155.
no, no. It was 170. It was 170 and up. Then it bought the WEC and
Yeah,
then
you're right.
bought the
Okay,
the lower roster as well. Yeah.
right.
So I mean, at one point we were only looking at Matt Hughes and George St. Pierre. That's why we saw
Mm-hmm.
so much of St. Pierre because he was the smallest dude back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, by the way, this match, man, whoo, I'm looking forward to seeing this match.
No,
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna record it and then watch it over and over because it's gonna be full of high and new technique, high level new techniques. Pay attention to these two, Hakeem and Mufsar. I want to thank them ahead of the time for honoring us with their performance. It's gonna be awesome.
it is. No, 100%. It's something that even the Miz would approve because he's awesome. Um, But speaking of another impeccable match, again, shout out to the UFC matchmakers because
Yep,
we
yep.
have Lauren Murphy, 14-4, right? Former Ultimate Fighter alumnus, right? Going up
Yep,
against
yep.
another Ultimate Fighter alumnus in JoJo Joanne Calderwood,
Mhm,
15 and
mhm,
5. Now, in the instance of Murphy, Murphy has, in her last couple outings, has looked damn good because she is
mhm,
on a 4 fight winning streak. Wins over Mar Barella, right? A finish over
mhm,
Mar Barella. Andrea KGB Lee split decision win. Unanimous decision
mhm,
over Roxanne Modafferi because
mhm,
damn, Roxanne Modafferi is probably, again, she doesn't have the killer instinct, but probably one of the
mhm,
most talented both strikers
mhm,
as in grapplers that has ever
mhm,
graced MMA, right? And to get a
mhm,
unanimous
mhm,
decision over Modafferi,
mhm.
that says something to
Yep.
me. Also,
Mhm,
Ultimate Fighter alumnus, right? And
mhm,
a
mhm,
rear naked choke over Lilia Shakirova, right? So she
mhm,
steps in with Joanne Calderwood, but not to be undone, JoJo is
mhm,
coming off of a unanimous decision win over Jessica Evil Eye, right? And that
mhm,
again means something, as well as a win over Andrea KGB Lee. In between those, lost to Jennifer Maya to the armbar,
mhm,
but the grappling prowess of Jennifer Maya is just
mhm.
levels. There's levels to this ish, and she's levels ahead of everybody in the division. I feel in terms of her grappling, right?
That's
So
right.
I I actually think this might also be a fight of the night. Both have something to prove. JoJo Calderwood has. I think it ever since like the Ultimate Fighter, she has
Mhm,
been labeled, with the UFC and MMA fans en masse as like one of the toughest
mhm,
fighters that there is. Male,
mhm,
female, doesn't matter. JoJo is one of the toughest and the most tenacious. But
mhm,
man, oh man, oh man, Lauren Murphy, who's looking for a 5 straight win en route to a flyweight title shot,
mhm,
she's looking damn good.
mhm, mhm. Indeed, she is. Indeed, she is. Uh, Murphy. Well, let's talk about Joanne Calderwood first. She what? She's from Wales or something like that.
Yeah, she's Scotland. Scotland.
Scotland. Okay, okay. So she's got excellent striking. Her
Mm,
striking is mm.
yeah.
Because she's got a Muay Thai background. Kicks are excellent, footwork excellent, hands. The way she throws her ones and twos, I love so much. Dynamic, beautiful, beautiful striking. I love her striking. But then when you get on the ground, it's a whole nother case, which is what Lauren Murphy's gonna do. Lauren Murphy has mastered the art of mixed martial arts. She can win everywhere now. She has accomplished this, which is why she is able to put together a 4 fight win streak. I mean, that's KGB Lee, right? Andrea
Yep.
Lee.
Yep. Andrea Lee.
You know what I mean? That's a very, very good fighter right there. Roxanne Modafferi, very well accomplished fighter
High
right there.
level.
high level, man. Grappling, striking, everything. Shakirova, you know what I mean? Another decent fighter. Look, man, she has mastered the art of winning, and all she did was improve that grappling to a point where it's become weaponized. Like Khabib weaponizes his grappling. You
Mm,
know, he wears on you. Even if he's not submitting you, he's wearing on you. He's just wearing on your mind. He's wearing on your nervous system. He's just wearing on. She has learned to do this. You know what I mean? She knows how to do this. Even though it's not on a Khabib type level, it's effective for her in what she's doing, right? She's put it all together quite nicely. Now, if she continues to, if she beats Joanna Calderwood, you know what I mean? Now, like you said, she'll be in line for a title. You know what I mean? Now is the time to start talking. This is the time to start talking. Don't wait for the company to promote you. Promote yourself. When you win and you get the chance to get on the mic, you better be prepared to say something that's gonna be everlasting. So when the time for an opportunity comes, they will remember your name first because they will remember the impression, the seed that you planted in the people's minds on Saturday. Lauren Murphy got to plant a seed. Find something tangible and plant it in their minds. You know what I mean? They will remember the next time. And when it's time to pay for that pay per view or whatever you're on for the title, there will be a backing for it. It will sell. You know what I mean? But you gotta build your platform. You
yep.
gotta, you know what I mean? So she's on her way though. I'm impressed with her improvement. I'm very impressed with her improvement. Uh, 37 years in all, she's still doing what she has to do. She's putting it together. Because she's able to put it together, it makes it easier for her to win fights. So that's what I see.
No, 100%. So yeah, I think nothing against Joanne Calderwood, nothing at all.
Hmm.
Again, one of the most dynamic personalities to come off of the Ultimate Fighter. But
Hmm.
I just think that Lauren Murphy, man, this is her time, and like you said,
Hmm.
she might be a tad bit older. Right, so
Hmm.
she wants to
Hmm.
make the most of this opportunity. This isn't just another fight for her, and both females are in the top 10, right? So,
Hmm.
6
Yep.
and 5 respectively. So, if
Hmm.
there's ever a time that she's going to make a case for a title opportunity within the next calendar year,
Now.
this is it.
Hmm.
This is it.
Hmm. Indeed, man. Indeed. And I think by now she's been in the game for so long. You know what I mean? She was there before McGregor, right?
Yeah.
She watched him rise. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? She watched the whole thing, and she's thinking to herself, dude, I can get that too. You know, he came out of nowhere and got it. I
Right.
can get that too. You know what I mean? Which is why she improved so much in regards to her overall game,
Yeah.
right? And now she's a dominant force, a low key dominant force. It's okay to be low key. Now you're five. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
five on, you gotta be loud. You gotta be loud and obnoxious if you have to be. You know what I mean? You must be heard. You have to make yourself heard by getting to that mic with Joe Rogan or
Yeah.
whoever's gonna be holding that mic questioning you. You gotta show out. She's gotta show out, man.
No, 1,000%. 1,000%. I would even say that Lauren Murphy needs to take a page out of Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South's playbook, and go, "Yeah, baby, I'm the champion. I'm the champion." You know, and if you can get one of those like amazing
Oh.
blazers that Jimmy Hart wore, damn right,
Mhm.
Lauren Murphy, damn right. So just saying. But as we move on, we have a rematch, right? Because we
Yeah.
have Eric Anders, yeah boy,
Mhm.
against
Mhm.
one Darren Stewart. This
Yep.
is
Yep.
the dentist versus your boy, a rematch of
Yep.
a no contest that they had pretty much earlier this year. Yeah, that happened in
Yep. I
in
remember.
March. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I
So it
remember.
was an illegal knee, so
Mhm.
we get to run it back. But prior to
Mhm.
that no contest, Darren Stewart was coming off of a loss to Kevin Holland, a split decision
Mhm.
loss, but he beat Maki Patolo via guillotine choke. But he's had an
Yep.
up and down kind of run.
Mhm.
Lost to Deron Wynn, Bertas Fabinski. Actually, I'm sorry, beat Deron Wynn
Mhm.
by split decision. But Charles Fabinski, he lost in Cage Warriors as a unanimous decision deal. So, kind of
Mhm.
fighting outside of the promotion for one
Mhm.
fight and one fight only with Cage Warriors, right? And then Eric Anders also was riding a two-fight win streak, wins over Vinicius Morea and Jared GM3 Mishart, and it took Christoph Jocko to basically thwart his aspirations of a three-fight win streak by beating
Mm.
him by unanimous decision. So to me, I think both of them are pretty even. Now we do have the experience of viewing the last deal, and it looked like
Yes.
Eric Anders was actually piecing up Stewart quite well.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Anders, he figured something out quite early. He
Hmm.
figured something out quite early about his opponent, and he exploited it to the max. And I'm sure he's going to pick up right back where he left off and even
Hmm.
do an even better job this time.
Yeah.
Darren Stewart, I believe, has hit his wall against Eric Anders. And it seems Anders still has one more gear. Even though they both have been gone for a while, now they're back. I'm still going with Eric Anders to go in there and actually toe tag Mr. Darren Stewart by putting him out no later than the second round. It's gonna be a quick one.
Would you say this one might be a recipient of knockout of the night? I feel that way.
Possibly. I feel that. I feel that right here. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So look out for that, and there might be
Yep.
a KO, some head
Hmm.
kick, or some punches, or a TKO.
Yep.
Whatever way, somebody getting knocked the fuck out.
Straight up.
Yeah, straight up, like Paula Abdul said in her hit song, "Straight up, now tell me." And what we will tell you is, in the next fight, we have 23-10, Drew Dober, right,
Hmm.
and he's going up against the New Zealand City Kickboxing uh, basically team member,
Yep.
one Brad Riddell, right?
Hmm.
So we're looking at the Elevation Fight team team member in Drew Dober. He lost a submission of via submission to Islam Makachev, losing by
Hmm.
the arm triangle from the half
Yep.
guard. That just happened in March, so it's pretty fresh in the memory, right? But prior
Yep.
to that, he was riding a three-fight winning streak over Polo Reyes, Nasrat Aparacross. That almost
Hmm.
sounded like Jamiroquai. It just had the phonetics of it. And then a KO of Alexander Hernandez, right? Now, on the
Hmm.
other side, we're looking at Brad Riddell. And Brad
Yep.
Riddell, much like his teammate, the top of the card, the champ, Israel Adesanya, unfortunately,
Hmm.
City Kickboxing, and they did a little bit of a YouTube kind of piece on it. I think MMA On Point did one about, unfortunately, they had a loss. One of their teammates at City Kickboxing passed away, not but
Hmm.
maybe about a month or two ago, right? And like
Hmm.
the week before they had to come out to Arizona, right? And Eugene Behrman, their head coach at City Kickboxing, was kind of talking about how Riddell and Adesanya didn't really get too much of a time off because like to mourn their fallen brother because they literally the next week had to jump on a plane and come stateside to fight on this card. But with that all
Hmm.
being said, Brad Riddell is still 9-1. I mean, the
Hmm.
last time that he lost was back in 2018. That was in Hex Fight Series 15 with a loss via armbar to one Abel Brites, right? But
Hmm.
since
Hmm.
then, one, two, three, four, five, six fight win streak.
Hmm.
In Glory of Heroes, uh, Wollongong Wars. Ooh, I want a T-shirt
Mm-hmm,
that says "Walling on Horse," just because
mm-hmm.
you know. And then obviously in the UFC, beating Jamie Malarkey in his debut via unanimous
Hmm.
decision. Um,
Your boy Malarkey.
yeah, man. Oh, I love the Malarkey. I love the Malarkey. But apparently the wins haven't been too kind to one Jamie Malarkey. So sad face emoji. But
Yeah, yeah.
I I you know what? I'm gonna go on a limb. I think Riddell, much like his teammate at the top of the card, Israel Adesanya, will
Hmm.
actually out a win over Drew Dober. I might. This could be also a fight of the night contender because I know Drew wants to just keep everything going, right? This is a tenured
Hmm.
vet that has been here since the Strikeforce days, man. He's
Hmm.
he turned pro way back in 2009 with a win over Frank Caballero. But I mean,
Hmm.
that was the pro, right? He's been in MMA, on the Omaha fight circuit as an amateur. His very first fight was 2006. Right? That's a long time ago.
It's a
That's
long time ago.
many moons, right?
Hmm.
So, but all of that, right? No matter how good you look in terms of optics, that
Hmm.
has to take a toll on your body, right? So, I
Indeed.
I think that is going to be the case with Drew Dober, and I think of the exploitation of such injuries and just kind of being rode long is going to be the demise of Drew Dober, ensuring a victory for Brad Riddell.
Yeah. Yes. Everything you said must be taken into consideration because this is the sport. You know, you have to analyze every flaw or every dis uh what's the word I'm looking for? Disadvantage. Every
Right?
disadvantage. And then add them all up at the end and see what happens. Drew Dober clearly has the experience. 23 fights, 23 wins and 10 losses. What?
Oh.
43 fights? That's a lot of fights, man. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fights. But Brad's on his way, man. He's 9-1. He understands how to win. He's only had one loss, and I mean, I don't know who Abel Bridge is, but he slipped up. He got caught up in the armbar. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
know messing with Eugene Berriman, that's something he would have fixed by now. He's gotten in there with a Magomed Mustafayev uh, split decision. He knows how to stay on his feet. He knows how to keep from getting submitted. And the way he did that was his wrestling. You know what I mean? He improved his wrestling game. Now he can shut down the Brazilian hip or the Brazilian jiu-jitsu hips. Shut that down, and then there's nothing. There's nothing there. You just got to shut the hips down. There's nothing there. If he's able to do that against Drew Dober, who is an excellent grappler slash jiu-jitsu personnel, I see Brad winning this one by a split decision. It's not going to be a knockout or anything like that. It's
No.
going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough war. It's a war of attrition. It's not going to be exciting. I don't see excitement. Drew Dober, he's a veteran now. He fights to win, right? If it so happens that he pleased the fans while he was at it, then great, right? He'll be more than happy to do that. But if the fight calls for him to be technical and be boring, he's going to do what he has to do to win. And that's what I expect. I expect that. Even in the boredom, uh, there is something to be learned for someone to be so dominant over the other one, if that's the case. Dominant on the ground like that, of course you want to learn from that. You know what I mean? The way he's going to immobilize his opponent, making the fight appear as boring, right? That's a skill. That's
Mm-hmm.
a skill that must be picked through a fight. Now, is that a skill you want to learn? Yeah, do you want to be learn to be boring? No, you want to learn to be complete. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes those fights are gonna be razor thin, and you got to do what you got to do to win, especially when they're close like this particular matchup. One is young and one is old. Old dog versus new dog, right? But it all balances out. We have experience versus youth. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
We will see. We will see. And but that's an excellent assessment. I love it so much. And I think you might actually deserve a spot on the UFC commentary. You keep spitting fire like that. I'm just saying.
Hey man, what's up, Dana? Hit me up, man. What's good?
I'm just saying. Um, but as we get into the four-fight main card, right? This gets kicked off by 4-1 Paul
Yeah.
Craig, the dude with the two first names, the
Mhm.
Bear Jew. That's a weird deal. But he's a
Mhm.
Scotsman, much like former WWE champion Drew McIntyre. He's a
Yeah.
Scottish
Mhm.
gentleman, right? And he is coming off of two straight wins over Gazimurad Antigulov, right?
Mhm.
Beat him
Mhm.
by triangle choke, and then
Mhm.
obviously that fight with Shogun, right? And arguably Paul Craig's biggest name to date, where he made Shogun Hua, right?
Mhm.
Like the legend that Hua is, tap to strikes in the second round on the undercard of
Mhm.
Davidson Figueiredo and
Mhm.
Alex Perez, right? But
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
other side of the docket, we have Jamal Hill. And
Yeah.
Jamal Hill is a perfect 8-0. He came to us in the UFC via Dana White's Contender Series back in
Yep.
2019.
Yep.
But he retired a mother trucker, William Vincent,
Mhm.
at Lights Out Championship back in 2019. Won Contender Series, Elbows from the Mount,
Yeah.
and has had two straight wins in the UFC. A unanimous decision over Darko Stosic. Yeah, Darko
Mhm.
Stosic. That's what I'm going with. All right. And
Mhm.
a standing KO over OSP, Oven St. Puru, on the December card, December 5th, 2020 card. Right. Now
Mhm.
he's. So I think this might be another evenly contested matchup. Now, obviously, Jamal Hill is undefeated, but
Mhm.
nowhere near the amount of experience that one Paul Craig has in his career. Right? He's
Mhm.
almost double digits ahead of experience in terms of number of fights over Jamal Hill.
Mhm.
So I want to hear your take on it because I'm not decided. I'm ping ponging back and forth in my the space
Okay.
that occupies
Okay.
between my ears.
Okay. So Paul Craig. Paul Craig. Uh, 14, 4, and 1.
Mm,
Experience goes to Paul Craig, right? He probably has more in his toolbox. Actually, I would actually go ahead and say Paul Craig has more tools in his toolbox than Jamal Hill. I would say that.
yeah.
I will say that. But Jamal Hill, he's got that distance control. He's got
Mm,
that speed. He's got excellent, probably some of the best 1-2s that I've seen in a long time. Jamal Hill. You know what I'm saying? When he pisses you up, he pisses you up good, and he's patient.
mm,
His footwork is dynamic. He is a dynamic striker. He's one of those new kids that's coming up, and he is a complete striker already. Right now, his ground game needs to match his striking. Then you have a champion on your hands right here with the kind of striking that he's got already. You know what I mean? Hopefully, Paul Craig is not able to pull him to the ground and then uh, 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 still a submission. If they stand, if Jamal Hill is able to keep this one standing, he wins. He's got more speed. He's got better striking, right? But if Craig takes him to the ground, I don't think Craig is fast enough to take him to the ground. I think the kid is prepared for this. I think he's going to strike while moving backwards. While Craig is attacking, he's striking, hitting the
yep.
corner, hitting the
Mm-hmm.
45s, using that speed to tag him up. He's got great hands, man. You know what I mean? So he understands boxing, right? So those angles are going to come to him easy. And the
Yep.
way he moves his feet, the way he stays balanced, I'm sure he's done some type of karate slash taekwondo type kicking as
Yeah.
well. So you know what I'm saying? And somewhere in his youth. So I'm also going with Jamal Hill to actually steal this one and steal that position as well, making himself a contender in this division.
Yeah, 9-0, to the UFC matchmakers in terms of getting the fights that he needs to you know, ascend the light heavyweight division. I think
Hmm.
that's a very big win over, a very experienced Paul Craig. So I see that too, and especially that assessment of fighting backwards and not coming forward and what have you, like a juggernaut,
Hmm.
and sometimes that
Hmm.
can get you caught, you caught slipping, and you eat a
Hmm.
punch, and there you go, right? So
Hmm.
excellent assessment. Yeah, Jamal Hill all the way. I think it's going to be tough to put away Paul Craig for sure. I mean,
Hmm.
we might get a buzzer beater, like the final seconds of the
Hmm.
third round. Jamal
Hmm.
Hill just Hail Marys and cracks Paul Craig. That could
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun fight.
yeah. And this particular fight, if anyone gets knocked out, it's Paul Craig. I don't see Paul Craig knocking him out at all. I
Yeah,
don't see it. But Paul could shock us. But I just
yeah,
don't see it. I see Jamal doing all the knockouts and submission, all Paul
same,
Craig. But
same.
but yeah, yeah. We book out Jamal Hill, right?
Yeah, thousand
All right.
percent, 1,000%.
Okay.
Now in the 170-pound division, I this one is not an odd one, but it's an interesting one because we have former UFC, title contender, arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner that has ever been in the UFC, one Damian Maia, and against Bilal, remember the
Mhm.
name
Mhm.
Muhammad, right? Last time that we saw Bilal Muhammad was at no contest IPOC of Leon Edwards, and
Mhm.
but theoretically speaking, I don't think I'm talking to you out of school, and this is not
Mhm.
a way to degrade or denegate one Bilal Muhammad, but Leon Edwards is piecing him up, 100%,
Yeah.
piecing him up, right?
Yeah.
Which I think just in jiu-jitsu prowess alone,
Mhm.
Damian Maya takes us, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
here's the outlier I feel that almost seals the deal with Damian Maya. Where do you remember that time, like that Damian Maya, again, one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner to ever set foot in a UFC octagon, but he decided
Mhm.
he was a striker.
Mhm.
Like he decided, oh, I'm just gonna you rely on my hands and whatever. I still think in that little iteration,
Mhm.
Damian Maya might edge up Paul Craig. I mean, not Paul Craig, but Bilal Muhammad,
Belal.
just a
Mhm.
little bit, just due to the fact that yes, he does have striking prowess, right?
Mhm.
Is it the best in the world? No, but again, in a game of inches, this is an outlier. In addition to the world class jiu-jitsu that Damian Maya brings every single time, that I almost feel like Bilal Muhammad doesn't stand a chance.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, this is a tough one for me because Bilal's youth is significant and his striking is very, very good with his
Yes, it is.
hands. He's very good with his hands, right? Because he has a very good knowledge of boxing. So his footwork is going to be decent. Hitting the angles are going to be very good. Damian Maya has a basic understanding of that, but
Right.
he doesn't have equivalent striking as Bilal. But his overwhelming grappling is significant. Significant. I think if he takes Bilal's back, Bilal is done. He won't make it out. Even though Bilal is a very, very good ground game, I don't think Bilal's gonna get out
Mm-mm.
if he gets his back. If Damian Maya takes his back, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done because as dominant as Khabib is with his wrestling, Damian Maya is equivalent in jiu-jitsu. If he
Yes.
grabs you, you're done. You're done. 99% of the time, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So Bilal knows this. He's a very good boxer. He understands distance. I think I'm gonna pick Bilal, man,
Okay.
to steal this. It's not gonna be an exciting match. He's gonna
No.
run, right? It won't be exciting. He's gonna run. He's gonna the same way Usman fought him. He's gonna use that blueprint right there. Remember, Usman was kind of, he didn't really like engage him like that.
Yeah.
Remember that? He's gonna
Yeah.
use exactly that formula. That's how you can fight Demian Maia and not get hurt. He's gonna come out of this fight unhurt, Bilal. But it's gonna be a cardio match. He's gonna move a lot, and Damian Maia is gonna probably lose by like unanimous decision.
Okay. I
I think
mean,
he's gonna outwork him. He's not really gonna engage him and fight him where Damian can beat him.
no, you're not wrong. I mean, like I said, this is a part of the fun of basically, looking into and dissecting this card.
Hmm.
Where the attributes, styles make fights,
Hmm.
and they have
Hmm.
interesting styles. Make this
Hmm.
not so much an interesting fight, but the title picture is going to look a little bit different.
Hmm.
Come, the hours after UFC, uh,
Hmm.
260. What is it? 263, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
And we also got to remember, Damian Maya is 43. Shit. He's gonna be 44 in November. You know what I'm saying? So he's no spring chicken, and that also is a strike against him. You know, it's a reality, something we must consider. The
I
fact that he's older is gonna be significant, especially among males. Females might be able to get away with that. With males, that matters, unless he's on some kind of juice.
You say that, but you remember this little thing? Oh, Jim Miller basically subbing one Jalen Turner in a matter of seconds. You remember
That's
that?
true. That's true. That's true.
And
That, like we said earlier, if Damian Maya takes his back, he's done. Done. But I think he's gonna run. But we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see.
no, but
Actually, I will split you on that one. This is a perfect split right here
yeah, no,
because it's
that
50-50.
I think so too. But
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using the Jim Miller kind of scenario in my head, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
that's Jim Miller, and not say that he's a bad jiu-jitsu practitioner, because he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good. I think
Top level. Black
Brown,
belt.
if not, yeah, black belt for sure, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Black belt.
as good as he is, Damian Maya is infinitely better, right? And the
Yeah.
same kind of age gap, And Maya actually has a lot less miles in terms of actual hits and strikes than
Yep.
Jim Miller has, right? Through the
True.
duration of the career. And he
Yep.
still
Yep.
pieced up. Again, Jalen Turner, his jujitsu isn't bad. It's not bad at
Yeah.
all. He's
Not bad at all.
high level, but
He's
it
at least
meant,
purple belt.
yeah, 100%. But that meant nothing to Jim Miller. So
Mhm.
that's almost what I feel here is Damon Maya. Yeah, man. I want to feel like you got it. But
It's a great
do
argument. It's a great
yeah,
it's a great argument for Damian Maia. He is that level. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? Like we said earlier, his skills in jiu-jitsu is comparable to Khabib's wrestling. You know what I mean? But that speed of Bilal is going to be an issue. I don't see
yeah,
Damian's movement dynamic enough to keep up with Bilal's footwork. Bilal
no,
just got to keep on jabbing him. You know what I mean? He could jab him to oblivion. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, jab. He's going to try and shoot, sprawl on him, pop back up. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, jab, jab. Just like a typewriter. Hitting the same key on a typewriter. It's going to be like that. You know what I mean? But if Damien gets his back, he's done. All that's over. So
yeah.
we'll see what happens.
We'll see, we'll see. But one
Hmm.
thing we don't have to see is our good brother Addis said, "Hey, what up, my guys?" So what up, Addis?
What's
Gl-
up, Addis?
yeah, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here,
Yeah.
especially as we near kind of the top of the card because
Oh yeah.
we got one of the featured bouts of the night in the also 170-pound division. We have
Yeah.
Leon Edwards, 18-3 is
Mhm.
Rocky Leon Edwards, right? And he's going up against the legendary Nate Diaz. Now, obviously, Leon Edwards had a horrible 2020 in the sense that he was stuck on the other side of the pond, and if it wasn't him, it was his opponents. Um, and he was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley. That got canceled, right? And
Mhm.
three times he was supposed to fight Hamzat Chimaev, which
Yeah.
would have been
Yeah.
a crazy banger. But yeah, it would have been out of this world, right? But it didn't happen. Then he basically gets the Bilal Muhammad fight, right? And after
Yep.
all this
Yep.
time, I believe it was Sky Sports over in the UK basically did a
Mhm.
whole like 1 hour get to know Leon Edwards and what have you before the I believe it was the Woodley fight, and
Well.
that got thwarted, and
Mm,
this was supposed to be a star making performance, but fear not, because Nate motherfucking Diaz, is here to save the day. Nate Diaz, obviously, Cesar Gracie black belt, 20-12. Lost the BMF title to Jorge Masvidal, but
mhm.
traded wins with one Conor McGregor, beat Anthony
Mhm.
Pettis like
Mhm.
nobody's business, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, So this one is so fun. I just the fact that we get to see Nate back in the octagon after he made boatloads of cash against McGregor, the two fights against McGregor. Much like McGregor, cherish these times that you get
Yep.
Nate, because hell, Nick we don't even get anymore. He just kind of,
Mhm.
with the marijuana suspension, he just kind of floated off into the
Sizzle
ether.
off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So just be glad that you get one Nate Diaz in the octagon, even if it's for one more,
Mhm.
or however long this kind of journey goes. He's still young enough. He's still whatever to make a good title run. But
Mhm.
damn, just Nate Diaz is a living legend.
Mhm.
Um, love you, Leon Edwards, but I got to roll with my man 209 represent one
Mhm.
Nate Diaz.
Mhm. Mhm. Hey, look, man. Like I always say, if there's a fighter that such that when you fight him, the opponent gets paid, I want that fighter to win all the time. When Nate
Mm.
fought, I've been riding with Nate since the beginning. That means before Conor McGregor. But Conor came, he got to a point where anytime he fights someone, they get paid. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Mm-hmm.
I want. That's what I want. So I always go for that fighter. In this case, Nate is in that position now. Nate, when Nate fights, his opponent should be getting decent money too. And now look at Leon Edwards. It's a 5 round match. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is the stipulation for them to get paid like they are seeking, like a main eventer. You know what I mean? Like a co-main eventer. You know what I mean? This was the stipulation for them to get paid that much. That this is my humble guess, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
believe that's what's going on. I mean, 25 minutes, the UFC's like, you're gonna give us a show. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna end with a question on the line. We want to see if you are capable. Now, I'm sure Nate volunteered for this particular fight and
Oh
picked
yeah.
Leon Edwards. I don't think it was Leon that picked Nate. I think
Yeah.
Nate picked Leon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you think you bad? Actually, I like that number 5. You know what I mean? Give me that number 5. He's doing that G thing. I can dig it. I can dig it. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna get paid on top of that. It's a win-win situation for Nate,
Yeah.
right? If he beats Leon, okay, he gets an opportunity at the title, more money. You know what I'm saying? If he loses, he's still gonna get paid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm sure he's seeing over 1 million, right?
Oh
This
yeah.
is Nate now,
Oh
right?
yeah.
This is Nate now. This is Nate post Connor. Nate pre Connor was getting 40 to fight and 40 to win, right? Now He's doing things. He took that little money that they gave him and he's making moves. He's planning for post fight. Now, this is a man that understands the game, right? He just didn't have the opportunity. But once the opportunity came with McGregor, he's running with it. He's running with it. You guys know what Nate Diaz is into. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. You know what I mean? His money is working for him. This is why we don't see him all the time, right? This is why we don't see, because he's paid now, right? He doesn't have to fight. He doesn't depend on fighting, right? This is what you want to do as a fighter. You want to be free. You want to be free of the cage, right? That freedom will take you to self actualization as a person who gets in the cage, right? You want to be you don't want to have to be in there. It sucks to have to be in there so I can pay the rent. You know what I mean? That sucks. But you know what? I'm feeling like fighting. Let's go. That's the feeling right there. That's the feeling. When you have to depend on the money, it sucks. But when you have enough, then you can fight free. There's something about freedom that finance brings, right? So Nate is there now, which is why, you know what? Let's go, Leon. I'm just going to make more money. Let's go. It's all a win-win for him. And he gets this big push, big promo. Sponsors are looking at him. You know what I mean? You got to think smart. And he is top 5, including his brother. Some of the smartest dudes I've seen in MMA. Most definitely. The Diaz brothers are up there.
No, 100%. You know, and again, it sounds like you might be invested in AMC, talking about, just doing things to love and not worried about the money. You're waiting for AMC to go to the moon. You must have 1,000 shares, Voodoo. Not to put yourself on blast, but yeah, you got Nick Diaz money. That's it. That's the way that you'd want to live, just to do things that you want to do versus the things that you have to do. So, yeah, man. So, I mean, if we're going to do an official pick, what say you, Voodoo?
Okay, I would say it like this. If you're a bettor, your money probably seems better with Leon Edwards, but Nate's a G, man. He repping Cali, man. He been repping Cali since the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't have a Cali rider on the card and not pick him. You know what I'm saying? And Nate is that guy that gets the other guy paid as well. So
yeah,
he's in there for me. And if you're getting the other guy paid more than usual, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Nate.
Yeah, man. Nate, that's a consensus pick, man. And dude, I think it would be very, very fun just to see Nate as a champion. You know, he snatches that 5 from Leon Edwards, and it just yeah, man. Represent.
Is this our second possible fight of the night?
Oh yeah, for sure. Is that? Yeah, that's not even. That's. There was. I feel bad for everybody on the undercard that might have had the contenders, because this is it. Like this, like top 3, they're gonna get all the money. This is like King Midas, right? Like the 6 fighters there. Not only are they going to be the highest paid on the card, but they'll probably be the recipient of all of the bonuses and shut everyone else out. They're going to be this good.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. The fact that it's 5 rounds, man, I'm so ecstatic.
Which actually benefits Nate, you know, because he's him and Nick, they're triathletes, man.
Yep.
So just saying.
Nate's like, what?
Yeah.
25 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, man. So that's exactly what you do. So, but speaking of things to be done, we are at the co-main events of the evening. We have UFC flyweight champion, the Jesus de Guerra, or God of War, Davidson Figueiredo, 21-1 against the assassin baby, Mexico's own Brandon Moreno. Right? In terms of Davidson Figueiredo, oh my God! I mean, this is a guy that I didn't like. You know, he was talking way too much head against Joe Benavidez, Joe Jitsu, man. Like
Mhm.
Joe Jitsu, put some respect on that guy's name.
Mhm.
There wouldn't be a flyweight division if for him and Mighty Mouse and that WEC contingent.
Mhm.
Even the bantamweights of Uriah Faber. That whole
Mhm.
alpha
Mhm.
team alpha male camp.
Yep.
Man, we
Yep.
we title or no title, we need to give them their due. They're the men and women that
Mhm.
came out of Team Alpha Male. Man, my respect to you, right?
Mhm.
But he was talking too much ish about Joe Benavidez, and I wanted, Joe to whoop his ass the first time because it was a one-way title switch because
Mhm.
Federato missed weight, so
Mhm. Yeah.
Benavidez to get the title, and he be
Mhm.
fucked out of luck, right? That didn't happen. He beat the shit out of Jiu-Jitsu. Joseph Benavidez got his ass kicked in front of his wife, Megan O'Leary, who's my hero in terms of reporting and shit. She just has always done a phenomenal job interviewing and everything. But like, damn, you got your ass kicked in front of your wife by
Hey,
uh,
Figueredo was like, "Hold my beer."
yeah, or whatever the hell they drink in that desolate
In the
region.
Amazon.
Yeah, he's hold my acai drink. Fuck, man. And then to go back on Fight Island and fucking tear Joseph Benavidez up again, as Megan
Mhm.
O'Leary couldn't even watch. She wasn't even in the stadium. She had to be kind of convalesced by her friend outside. If you saw the behind the Fight Island documentary that they have, if you haven't done it, check it out. It is
Mhm.
amazing
Mhm.
piece of storytelling. But yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't like Davidson, not at all. But and then after the Joseph Benavidez fights, he fights our friend, one Alex
Mhm.
Perez. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
fuck, man. But
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
showed his worth, and then went to a draw with Brandon Moreno. And this
Mhm.
happened. I'm all about getting the money from, oh, say this guy, getting the
Mhm.
money from Uncle Dana, right? Because
Yep. Yep.
they wanted to do Brandon Moreno so soon after the first round, guillotine choke victory of Alex Perez for Juan Davidson
Mhm.
Figueiredo. And Figueiredo
Mhm.
is like, I got wife, I got kids in Brazil. If you want to keep me here,
Mhm.
my first round submission was fight of the night. Don't lie to me,
Mhm.
Dana. Don't be coming
Mhm.
with your Pinocchio shit.
Yep.
Get
Yep.
me my
Yep.
money. Get me my
That's
money.
right.
And it was so cool to see Dana White fucking go up to Federado's uh, hotel room, living fat, in Vegas, and come with the fucking bag full of that
The
money.
stack.
Yeah,
He
talk
had the
about.
stack.
And after that, I became a fan of Federado. Man, getting your money, being an advocate for yourself regardless of circumstance. This is a gentleman who doesn't even speak English, man, but he knew the language of money and what he deserved, and he got it from the victory,
Yep.
from the president of the UFC, man. And
Yep. Yep.
that fight with Moreno was a banger. Again, that's the reason why it's a decision, right? I mean, not a
Mhm.
decision, a draw, because both men
Mhm.
beat the ever living tar out of each other. And that's what
Yep.
sets
Yep.
us up for Saturday night, a rematch for the
Yep.
UFC World Flyweight Championship.
Yep.
Man, if anything it was told to you by that last fight, the last fight card of 2020, that was a banger, guess what? Federado, Moreno, they're even better than they were in
Mm.
December, right? They might
Yep.
have lost a little bit of longevity, but right here,
Mhm.
they're neck and neck, man. And I can't wait. This also fight of the night. Damn, yeah. I'm excited. I got fucking goosebumps, man. This is a great fight. I love this fight. I loved it the first time. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it the second time.
Mhm. This fight right here is gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be exciting, but I don't think it will live up to the level of the last one. The
Really?
majority. No, I don't think so. I think that's as high as they're going to peak. in regards to fighting each other. This particular match will be decided on the ground. The ground will be the deciding factor. You won't. It's not going to be much far from a majority draw. It's going to be a split decision victory. They're going to go 25 minutes. They're equally tough, but the grappler, the better grappler, will be the one that wins this match. And I just don't know yet if Brandon Moreno's wrestling is there. I
Mm-hmm.
know he's got wrestling. I'm not saying he doesn't. I just don't know if his wrestling is good enough to beat Davidson's jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Davidson, he's also got that wrestling type jiu-jitsu too. So he's
Yeah.
got that hybrid. He's got that hybrid, which is why he's champion. But he usually prefers to knock foes out into next week. So
I
he is
mean,
a champion for a reason. He is a champion for a reason. He is at number one for a reason. If he has to, he would do what he has to win the match, and that includes holding and laying on and all of the above. You got to be willing to go there to retain a title. I think he's that kind of guy.
no, I'm right there. And it's not even like jujitsu. He's on that like Amazonian lutte livre. Not even that fucking jujitsu. Nothing against
Hmm.
jujitsu, but
Hmm.
I love the fact that Federato is amongst the people in the Amazon, in the trenches, learning an art form that, I mean, before him was pretty much lost, even amongst Brazilians, right?
Hmm.
He fights more of a lucha libre style, more so, and an indigenous style, more so than the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu of modern day. So I just love it. I love what he stands for. He's the god of war, and he's
Hmm.
shown that he's absolutely befitting of that moniker. So
Hmm. Hmm.
the champ
Yeah, I will.
retains.
I will stay with you on the Davidson Figueredo call as well.
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno is ripe and ready. He's ripe and ready, and he could very well win. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's going to be a split decision victory, and I think the champ has been wrestling a lot this camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been wrestling a lot this camp. I can feel it in him. I
Hmm.
feel it when I look at him. I see wrestling. I see him in a hotel sprinting down the hallway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's activating his fast twitch muscle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Of course, he's trying to lose weight as well, but he's also activating his fast twitch muscle. So the fight is going to be won during the transition, right? And you need fast twitch muscles for the transition. So it's going to be heavy. It's going to be decided by the ground game. Maybe set 5 takedowns to like 3 or something like that. It's going to be something ridiculous like that. But I think Figueredo is going to keep his title.
No, 100%, man. I mean, not to give too much away, but in my kind of estimation, the champion. I mean, it's fun because we have two rematches, two championship fights back to back, and in my
Hmm.
estimation, I think the champions retain. But we will get to that because you know where we are, Rito? We are at the co-main. Oh, not the co-main event. The
The
main
main
event
event.
of the evening. We have current reigning and defending
Hmm.
UFC middleweight champion, one Israel Adesanya, right? And he is going up against the Italian Dream, Marvin Vittori. This obviously is a rematch of their 2018 bout, to which Israel basically won a narrow split decision victory over Vittori, and man, it has stuck a crux in the craw of Marvin Vittori because that's all he's talking about. It's like I fucking beat the champ. I fucking beat the champ. I'm the true champion. Like literally for fucking 3 years, man. And he's looked damn good, en route to this title contest because obviously you know, the title wasn't up for grabs. Israel
Mhm.
basically faced Vittori and in his ascension to UFC championship gold in his fight with Robert Whitaker. Vittori was one of
Mhm.
the ones on the way. Not to say that he was a stepping stone, but he was a damn stepping stone to the greatness of one Israel Adesanya. All right,
Mhm.
and it's even pissed off Adesanya too that he didn't decisively finish Vittori. So this has all the makings of everything, and much like the Fedorado and Moreno fight, there's bad blood
Mhm.
between those two. Well, there's
Mhm.
fucking bad blood between, at least when it came to weigh-ins, when they were all nice and kind of cordial. They were cordial. They weren't nice on the UFC embedded because there was
Mhm.
something that they were trying to pick up,
Mhm.
in the UFC fight kit, kind of area where they disseminate those things. And they saw each other
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna get one of these?" It's like, "Yeah, of course, I'm gonna get one of these," and whatever. And it was cordial. But come the damn press conference, they were gonna beat the shit out of each other right then, right there. So, what say you, Vidi?
Everything you said was on point. Um, when I look at Marvin Vittori, he reminds me of force. Like, not to say he looks like an org, but if you remember the what's that movie? The
Bright.
Ring, the Lords of the Ring.
I
The
was even.
orgs
I,
have they had that go attitude.
mm-hmm.
Just go. You know what I mean? Uh, he reminds me of that. When he fights, he just goes. Right? There is no. I don't see dynamic. He is
Yeah.
force. He's effective force,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not dynamic. He is
Right.
not float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Right? And because of that, it is a weakness
Yep.
because he reminds me of the bull.
Yep.
Understand, he has excellent takedowns. He has excellent wrestling. Striking, he is no match. He's got excellent takedown and excellent wrestling. Israel just has to move his feet and keep from getting taken down, and that's it. He wins.
Yeah.
Will there be takedowns in this 25 minutes? I think so.
Yeah.
Will Marvin be able to keep him down? Possibly. Possibly. Israel will lose some rounds because now you have to strategize. Give him around here, give him around here, and then have enough for a push later. You understand? So Marvin will be possibly be in a dominant position. Izzy will hold on until the round's over, and then he'll come out and light him up some more.
Yeah.
And this is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to see. Marvin is banking solely. He's going to be banking solely on the wrestling because he's looking for the best scenario for him to win this fight. He wants to be the first Italian UFC champion, right? And he has to be perfect to do that. And the greatest attribute against his current opponent is gonna have to be the grappling. And he just saw Kevin Holland not too long ago, in
Yeah.
which he executed this technique quite effectively.
Yeah.
But that was Mr. Holland. This is Israel. Was Israel taken down and kept down by the 205 champion, Jean Blachowicz? Yes, he kept him down. But do you not understand that Israel and his team have been working on this particular thing since that loss? The kid doesn't like to lose. Now he's lost one. At least he lost to a light heavyweight, right? This is the narrative. But anyone here in his division of equal strength, I think he'll do better. He might even get back up against Marvin. He might even get up a couple of times. But for the most part, he will be down. He will be down. And you can't just learn to be an excellent wrestler in a couple of weeks to months. It's not going to happen. So they've accounted for that. So you will see some holding, lots of holding. Luckily, the referee will break it up and stand them up. But I think Marvin will be active on the ground. He would try because he is a go type guy. He will pressure hard. And Israel, he's a kickboxer. He understands fighting backwards. So I don't see him having any problem against Marvin striking, but that grappling is going to be a problem. But I'm still keeping the champ to win this one. I'm going with the champ. Another
Yep.
split decision. I don't see a knockout. It's going to be
Yep.
boring.
I I yes, I agree because here's the fact of the matter with Vittori, right? His
Hmm.
last fight was Kevin Holland, right? And
Hmm.
obviously Kevin Holland filled in short notice and what have you. But even still, with as little, I almost want to say it like Kevin Holland was straight out disrespectful in the shit. Like you never got the sense that he wanted to win, right?
Hmm.
He that wasn't it. You know, he rather comments on just shit talking, right, rather than beating
Hmm.
Vittori because
Hmm.
beating Vittori, he would be here against Adesanya,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Or at least maybe an alternate.
It would have
Maybe
been massive too.
yeah, it would have been massive, massive paycheck, massive everything, massive
Hmm.
exposure coming off of the Jacare up up
Hmm.
punch
Hmm.
knockout, right?
Hmm.
So Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, he would have blazed the trail like no other if he beat Vittori, right? And a
Yep.
primed and ready fucking Vittori. Vittori had a full fight cap. Holland had just fought not but what a month, 2 months removed from the fight with Vittori, and
Yep.
still you didn't have enough to put him away, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So to say that Kevin Holland is close to Israel Adesanya to make a comparison is comparing literally gold to chicken shit.
Oh shit.
So if Vittori could, and again, one of the best fucking gyms around, one of the best coaches around in King's MMA and Master Rafael Cordero, and you couldn't fucking finish Kevin Holland, a fucking half joking fucking Kevin Holland, a all joking Kevin Holland, and you're the Italian dream. You have the pride of your fucking country, the country that has been ravaged in 2020 by COVID and still continuing to this day. You are their dream. You let their fucking dreams down, Marvin Vittori. Kevin Holland, you couldn't beat here, and you're talking all that shit. Want to look like the what is that damn movie with Natalie Portman and the fucking guy from the '90s, the young Natalie Portman, and there was a guy. He's an assassin or some shit.
Oh yeah, professional.
Yeah, professional. Again, you can't look like the fucking professional if you couldn't finish Kevin Holland, short notice Kevin Holland that didn't have a full fucking fight camp, who was rungs lower than who you're supposed to fight on that fucking night.
Yeah,
Israel
true.
has got something to prove. That loss to Blackowitz, the loss of his teammate,
Hmm.
loss. It's only the type of loss that Israel Adesanya hasn't encountered in his life. Yes, he's lost a fight prior, kickboxing, right? But a loss in MMA to Jan Blachowicz, right? To which
Hmm.
Eugene Berriman in the MMA on point video said he still doesn't understand. The team doesn't understand how Israel lost that fight to Jan.
Hmm.
That's 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 it. And he maybe even
Hmm.
attribute it to building his skill set versus building his muscle and bulk, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, that's what Berman said of Israel, right? And that was his teaching, his tutelage, right?
Hmm.
But even with all of that, right, Vittori couldn't beat Holland, and to
Hmm.
me, that is my case in point why Israel Adesanya will retain. I have learned better, much like I had with Kamaru Usman, right? Another
Hmm.
Nigerian champion in the UFC,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Never to bet against them. I might not want to listen to them on fucking Joe Rogan's podcast,
Hmm. Hmm.
that notwithstanding, but I will
Mhm.
never deny their fight IQ, their fight acumen.
Yeah.
I give respect where it's due, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The respect that I had for Tyron Woodley before UFC 209, that's where I'm at
Yeah.
with Usman and Adesanya. So, and the fact that
Yeah.
again, Cameroon's Francis Ngannou brought up the rear and won the heavyweight title. This is a thing. I don't think either three men, right? The two Nigerians
Mhm.
and the one Cameroonian. This is an
Mhm.
unprecedented time
Mhm.
in the UFC
Mhm.
to hold the
Mhm.
gold that they do, right? And I don't think that they want to go to each other and be, I was the first one who lost my
Mm.
gold, and
Yeah.
I damn sure it not be Israel. He's the youngest.
It's hey, history will record whichever one loses first. They don't want. Hey, it's like nobody want to get tagged, man. Nobody want to get tagged. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're moving. They're trying to get tagged, but they're moving. But it is what it is, man.
yeah,
Eventually, no one is ever truly champion. Eventually, you know what I mean? No one is truly undefeated because at some point there is always someone better. You know what I mean? But have fun while you're doing it. As long as you understand there's always someone better, then there's nothing to fear. You know what I mean? It comes and it goes. You know what I mean? Wins and losses come and go. It is what it is.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it's fun while it lasts, though.
No, and speaking of fun, you know, like I said, Israel, in terms of personality wise, might not be my cup of tea. That's cool,
Mhm.
whatever. I actually fell in love with the guy. Episode 2 of this embedded, where he's training at a
Mm.
gym in Arizona, right, to kind of
Mhm.
get ready for
Mhm.
this fight, and one of
Mhm.
his training partners, right, at the of the gym, right,
Mhm.
a stalwart of that gym in Arizona where the team is, you know, basically hashing out the game plan, right? One
Mhm.
of their kids, the guy, the fighter's kids, went up to him,
Mhm.
and Israel, like, you got the feeling that, you know, to this kid, it, you know, Israel was the
Mhm.
grand
Mhm.
poobah, but also
Mhm.
Israel knew that moment. He understood that
Mm.
moment and put that kid on his shoulders and made this,
Mhm.
you know, and started holding pads.
Mm.
And I was just like,
Mm.
this shows me one thing: the heart of one Israel Adesanya to do better for
Mhm.
his community at large, but also
Mhm.
one thing that is going to carry him in
Mhm.
to Saturday, and the one thing
Mhm.
that he's displayed before, that he is
Mhm.
absolutely cognizant of whatever
Mhm.
moment presents itself. And that is
Mm.
the outlier. And that
Mhm.
is what I feel Israel Adesanya will walk out the same way he came in, as a UFC
Mm.
middleweight champion.
Mm. Excellent breakdown, my man. Excellent breakdown. Oh man. Hey, look though, it's gonna be a phenomenal weekend in regards to the UFC. But tomorrow we have actually
Bellator.
it's already today. It's already
Yeah,
today. We have a Bellator,
we got
and that's
Bellator.
looking pretty good too, man.
Yeah, coming off, and then we had tonight, starting off
Hmm.
the entire 3 day of MMA, PFL, and Clarissa Shields
PFL. Hmm.
basically victorious in her MMA debut. I mean, the
Hmm.
first fight of the damn prelims was crazy. I mean, PFL is showing out, Bellator is showing out, UFC. There has never been a better time to be a combat
Yes.
sports fan. And again,
Yes.
the way that you want to uh, use as a guidebook, a kind of a
Hmm.
McNally map, to
Hmm.
use a reference before MapQuest and Google fucking Maps to kind of figure out the topography of MMA. Well, guess what? We have Voodoo in the Woods to help you do that, right?
Yeah.
Voodoo Maximus and According in the Woods. And Voodoo, where can they find you, good sir, to get more of all things Voodoo Maximus?
Well, that's quite simple. YouTube, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the only four I use. You will find me there. And if you're looking for my boy on my right here, Court in the Woods on every platform. You better believe it. Like, share, and subscribe on everything.
Damn right, folks. Have an amazing weekend. And you guys can cap off your weekend right here on Sunday as we do the afterburn for this tremendous UFC 263 card. But until then, my friends, you guys be safe. Peace, love, and chicken grease. And we will see you Sunday with more voodoo in the
Hmm.
woods.